Hello, this is Jen Bengal to explain this school district's 5-year forecast. This district happens to be in a more rural area with declining enrollment prior to the year 2023, which we'll get to in just a moment. The first line, or the first part of this segment of this 5-year forecast, we're going to discuss revenue, which is derived mostly from property taxes and less so from state aid, but we'll explain both of that in the portion of the revenue, and then we'll go into our expenses. So in line 1.010, we have general property tax. It has fluctuated in average as indicated by the spreadsheet, 5.5%, but if we look at the average of deviation each of those years has from the maximum amount of tax collected that is possible to be collected, which is 13.5 million, we see that that deviation is 6.7%. Due to the increasing economy, we're predicting a decrease in only negative 3.4% in the year 2021, which would bring us a little bit closer to that 13.5 ideal maximum tax collection rate. And then because of the improvement in the economy in the area, another 3.4% increase in year 2022. In 2023, we have a brand new housing development that'll be mostly occupied in that year. So new construction in the district, bringing an additional 9.5% in property tax revenue. And then the completion of that construction, that residential development, will happen in 2024, bringing another 0.5%, bringing our max tax collection rate up to 14.8 million. As far as state aid, in lines 1.035 and 1.040, we have unrestricted and restricted state aid. They're going to follow similar patterns because this is a guaranteed district. So in year 2021 and 2022, before we see that jump in enrollment with that 100 new families moving into the area due to the new construction, it's going to stay at a 0% increase from the state. And then in 2023, when we see that surplus of 250 new students into the district, we see an overall increase between the two because we're estimating for not only the students that will not need special services, but the ones who will need special services with a restricted state aid, a total of 8%. And then the remainder of the enrollment, the families, increasing in 2024. So we'll see a little bit of an increase in those 2 years due to that, that population increasing in the school district and the 250 students into the areas. This revenue portion of the 5-year forecast is assuming no new levies and no new renewals. The only thing that's increasing is our new construction in the area in years 2023 and 2024. Other factors that may affect this outlook include the triennial update by the county auditor and the biennial budget from the governor. So now we're going to move into the expenditure portion of the 5-year forecast, starting with the expense that takes up most of our revenue, and that would be our staffing and benefits. We'll first start with staffing. The increase in the year 2021 is a result of a 2% increase on the base, which is per the negotiated agreement. So you'll see a 2% increase from 2020 and 2021 with no new staff being hired in that year. Again, in 2022, no new staff is being hired, but we do have that 2% increase on the base every year. In 2023, to accommodate the 250 students that are moving in to that new development in the district, we see a need to hire about 10 new staff members. That is going to really increase our salary and our benefits also to 19 million in 2023. And then we have the staffing stabilize in 2024 with a 2% increase on the base. So by the year 2024, we'll be paying about $19.8 million, where we started out in 2021 with that $17.2 million. For benefits, we see an average increase for the 2 years that we are not going to be taking on additional staff. We see an average predicted of a 6.5% increase in healthcare costs. Sources predict anywhere from 5 to 8%, so we took the 6.5% to increase healthcare. Again, we see a big jump in the year 2023 due to the 10 additional teachers that will be going on our healthcare. 5 of those teachers will have single plans and 5 are predicted to have family plans. And then we have another 6.5% predicted increase in the year 2024. So that is going to make up the bulk of our expenditures over the next 4 years. We'll move into purchase services. Purchase services are those outside suppliers, whether it be electricians, occupational therapists, etc. So any outside organization or business that we buy services from would fall under this category. Average purchase services from outside businesses or contractors has increased since 2017 by about $210,000, or approximately 5%. Therefore, this forecast shows an increase in those purchased services, particularly if we're taking in 250 additional students. If it's within the state average, approximately 50 of those are going to need special services, and so that also constitutes that 5% increase in purchase services. As far as expenditures, we spend a portion of our budget on supplies, consumable supplies. This also trending from 2017 shows an increase by an average of $83,000 a year. There are some expenditures such as paper and office supplies you see in the first line that has shown a decline. However, with technology and software license for curriculum and increasing, like for example bus routes for our 250 new students coming in 2023, we're going to predict a steady increase of that $83,000 over the next couple years in supplies. And last but not least, for capital, capital has shown some fluctuation over the years, but we are going to assume a 2% increase each year for maintenance and equipment. Additional school buses are going to be needed due to increases in enrollment and just due to inflation and the cost of things such as musical instruments and technology equipment, which we made a big purchase back in 2020. That equipment's going to have to be maintained and replaced and repaired. We are, for the purpose of this 5-year forecast, going to assume at least a 2% increase in expenses in these categories over the next 4 years each year. So that is the 5-year forecast, the predictions and assumptions of this school district.